biggest news out of the NBA this week came out of San Antonio. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama will miss the remainder of the season after being diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot in his right shoulder. Wembanyama, he was having a historic season. He became the first player to average at least 3 made three-pointers and 3 blocks in a season in NBA history. He also averaged the most blocks in a season since Alonzo Mourning in 1998-1999. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, back with us now. Shams, you reported that the Spurs believe that Wemby is going to make a full recovery here, but what does the start of that process look like?
It starts with how he's doing right now, and from what I'm told, he is emotionally doing well. He and the Spurs right now are working through treatment options on how to move forward here with that blood clot in his right shoulder. And the best news out of what's been a setback of a week for the Spurs is they don't expect any long-term issues here. They believe that clot in his right shoulder is isolated, and they believe he will play next season. Furthermore, sources tell me Wembanyama and Coach Gregg Popovich have been in very active communication in the wake of this diagnosis. They've been speaking frequently, and from my understanding, Gregg Popovich has been very hands-on with Victor Wembanyama in the wake of what's happened this week.
You mentioned Gregg Popovich. He's been away from the team since suffering a stroke in early November. Where is he at in terms of his recovery process?
Gregg Popovich is not expected to return to the team this season. He is not going to be back. That's what the Spurs are operating under. And his future is clearly under some uncertainty right now. He hasn't coached since he had that mild stroke in November, and he continues to progress in his rehab. From a human perspective, he is getting stronger and stronger. There will be a time and place in the future where he will make determinations and address his long-term future.
Oh, Bob, obviously the most important part of all of this is, as a person, he's recovering. He's, as Shams is saying, is starting to make those sorts of steps in terms of his progress, but unclear on when he's going to return to the sidelines here.
Yeah, you're just seeing the highlights of him there, Malika. It's like you realize how powerful of a figure he was and is in this league for the last many 20, 30 years. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because you never look. I don't know how many more years he wanted to coach anyway, but in any profession, in any walk of life, you want to go out on your own terms, and he hasn't gotten to do that yet. So even if he could come back and coach a season or whatever he could do and then say, I went out my own way, that'd be a fitting end for a guy that's given so much to the game.
Sometimes you just need a break, and I expect Gregg Popovich to be back next season. I expect him to be healthy and vibrant and ready to go, and obviously impart his words of wisdom upon Wembanyama and other guys like that. Affectionately speaking, I've often called Gregg Popovich one of the biggest phonies in NBA history because all of this attitude that he has and he gives off, he is absolutely positively one of the nicest people. If you got to know him, if you talk to him, he's a good man, and he's done a lot of good things for the league and a lot of good things for a lot of players, and his personality doesn't give that off at all. But people don't know that about him. He is a really good man.
And then people got to realize when it comes down to Pop, right, at 76 years old, 5 NBA championships, what is he still doing it for? 1, he's still doing it for the love, but 2, it keeps him young. Right? This is his sanctuary. At 76 years old, you don't just want to be at the crib. You don't just want to be just chilling, right? You want to stay active. And I do believe he's going to be back on the sideline. I believe he wants to be back on the sideline, especially looking at the direction that this franchise is going in. You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Victor Wembanyama, you got Stephon Castle. So this future is looking extremely bright, and I want to see Gregg Popovich be a part of this future, at least if it's for like 2 years.
Again, Shams reporting that he's not going to be returning, is not expected to return to the sidelines this year, but is making progress in his recovery from that stroke that he suffered in November, which is